By the end of this video, you will have inhaled the smell of 3 different snacks you didn't eat. You'll have judged at least one stranger's lunch on Instagram. And you will have convinced yourself, possibly for the 4th time this week, that you should try the Paleo diet. The Paleo diet. Eat like a caveman. Lots of meat. Lots of vegetables. No grains. No dairy. No legumes. No sugar. Eat the way your great-great-great-great-grandfather ate. There is just one tiny problem with this. Your great-great-great-great-grandfather, in the year 30,000 BC, depending on where on the planet he happened to be living, was eating something that would absolutely horrify a modern paleo influencer. He might have been on an ice floe, eating raw whale liver. He might have been in a savanna, chewing through a giant grub the size of his thumb. He might have been in a forest, eating 90% baobab fruit and getting most of his calories from sugar. He was not, in any version of this story, eating chicken and broccoli out of a meal prep container. This is the Paleolithic diet, the real one. The modern paleo diet has a story attached to it. The story goes like this. Once upon a time, before farming and industry ruined everything, humans were lean, muscular, and disease-free. They ate fresh meat and wild plants. They moved all day. They were not metabolically broken. Then we invented bread. We started farming. We got soft. We got diabetes. The fix, according to a man with a Stanford degree and a podcast, is to eat what humans ate before the bread happened. There is one big assumption hiding inside that whole story. The assumption is that there was a single Paleolithic diet. That there's a thing you can call what humans ate. That all our ancestors, across 2.5 million years, just sort of agreed on lunch. They did not. The Paleolithic is the period from roughly 2.5 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago, when humans invented farming. Roughly 2.5 million years. Beginning around 2.6 million years ago, and ending about 11,700 years ago, when farming kicked off in the Fertile Crescent. Across every continent except Antarctica. In jungles, in deserts, in tundra, in temperate forest, on coasts, in mountains. Asking, what did Paleolithic humans eat, is like walking into a global Whole Foods and asking, what's for dinner? The answer depends entirely on which Paleolithic human, which century, which continent, which season. We have actual ethnographic data on some of the surviving hunter-gatherer groups from the last 100 years, and the variation between them is absolutely wild. The traditional Inuit diet, before contact with European foods, was roughly 90 to 99% animal, depending on the group and season. Seal, whale, fish, caribou, walrus. Eaten mostly raw or only lightly cooked. Because cooking destroys vitamin C, and the only vitamin C they had was the trace amounts in raw seal liver. They were not eating salad. Salad was not an option. Meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum, the Hadza of Tanzania get the majority of their daily calories from plant foods and honey, with meat a smaller, though valued share. Honey, baobab fruit, berries, and tubers. Honey alone supplies roughly 15 to 20% of their calories. Their actual favorite food, by their own ranking, is honey. So we have an Inuit paleo diet that would kill a modern vegan, and a Hadza paleo diet that would kill a modern keto bro. Both are Paleolithic. Inside a single hunter-gatherer group, what was on the menu also varied wildly, by season, by year, by who happened to find what. In good years, Aboriginal Australians ate a lot of game. In drought years, they ate a lot of grubs. Specifically, witchetty grubs. Fat moth larvae, about the size of your thumb, eaten raw or lightly roasted. By weight, a witchetty grub is around 20% fat. But because fat is so calorie dense, most of its energy comes from that fat. Roughly 3/4 of the calories in a witchetty grub are pure fat. It's basically a tube of butter with a face on it. If you ranked foods by calories per gram per second of effort to acquire, the witchetty grub is roughly in the top 3 foods in human history. We just stopped eating them because they look like that. Up in the Pacific Northwest of North America, the Tlingit and other coastal peoples relied on salmon as a staple, balanced with marine mammal fat, shellfish, berries, and roots, because pure lean protein in huge doses causes protein toxicity. Salmon heavy, but not actually salmon only. The salmon plus fat plus berries diet ran for thousands of years up there. In the Amazon, indigenous groups ate huge quantities of cassava, a plant that, by the way, is mildly poisonous if you don't prepare it correctly. They figured out how to detoxify it through grinding and rinsing about 10,000 years ago. Paleo cooking school existed. In coastal Norway, the diet was something like 90% fish. In inland Africa, it was almost no fish. In the Levant, plenty of wild legumes. Yes, the legumes that modern paleo says you can't eat. The no legumes rule of the modern paleo diet has no archaeological basis. We have evidence of ancient humans eating wild lentils, chickpeas, and peas across most of the Old World, dating back well before agriculture. So if the actual Paleolithic diet is literally anything edible you could grab, depending on where you happen to be, where did the modern paleo diet actually come from? It started in 1975 with a gastroenterologist named Walter Vogtland and a book called The Stone Age Diet. Then, in 1985, a couple of researchers, Boyd Eaton and Melvin Connor, wrote an actual paper in the New England Journal of Medicine titled Paleolithic Nutrition. That paper was actually careful. It said, hey, modern humans eat way more refined sugar and grain than our ancestors did, and our nutrient ratios are off. Reasonable. Then, the wellness industry got hold of it. By the early 2000s, the paleo diet had become a branded lifestyle product. Cookbooks, supplements, almond flour everything, and an army of Instagram coaches. The branded version made a clean, simple set of rules. Meat, yes. Vegetables, yes. Eggs, yes. Dairy, no. Grains, no. Legumes, no. Sugar, no. Coffee, depends on which influencer. None of these rules accurately describe what any specific Paleolithic population ate. The Inuit ate 99% animal. The Hadza ate 70% plant. Levantine groups ate legumes. Some Asian groups ate wild rice. African groups ate a lot of starchy tubers. Pacific coastal groups ate kelp. A 2017 review of hunter-gatherer nutrition by Crittenden and Schnorr basically just said, in academic language, there is no such thing as the Paleolithic diet. Please stop. So what's actually true about Paleolithic diets that's useful for you right now, tonight? A few things hold up across most populations we have data on. 1. Paleolithic humans ate much more fiber than you do. Modern average is about 15 grams a day. Hadza intake is closer to 100. That's a real, replicable, robust finding. 2. They ate a much wider variety of plant species. Modern Western diet is heavy on about a dozen plant species. Hunter-gatherer groups commonly eat 50 to 80. 3. They ate very little refined sugar and almost no industrial seed oil. 2 genuine novelties of the modern diet. 2 things no Paleolithic population had access to. 4. They ate whatever they could grab. That's it. That's the actual paleo diet. The whole thing. Eat what's locally available, includes a lot of plants, eat a wider variety than modern humans, skip the highly processed industrial stuff. Notice what's not on that list. Almond flour, coconut aminos, grass-fed bone broth with a markup, bulletproof coffee, paleo brownies. The marketing paleo diet is mostly a story modern wellness people tell themselves to feel morally superior at brunch. The actual paleo diet, the one your great-great-great times 1,000 grandfather actually ate, would horrify them. He was eating a fish head. He was eating a fistful of larvae. He was eating a root he had to soak for 3 days to make non-poisonous. He was eating the brain of an animal because it's the calorie-densest part. He was not asking if it was grass-fed. He was eating to live. You are dieting to look like a 30-year-old in an ad. You will never out-paleo a man who ate a moth grub for breakfast. The good news is you don't have to. Eat real food. Eat lots of plants. Eat a few different kinds. Skip the industrial sugar fire hose. Stop paying $12 for a jar labeled Paleo. Your ancestor in the year 30,000 BC didn't have a podcast. He had a grub, and he was, by every available metric, doing fine. Curious which other modern wellness fantasy turns out to be invented in a 1970s pamphlet? Subscribe. Wednesday's question is meaner.